travelers, it's Mag, I, and Skeletor 10 on day 20 of our trip around the United States. Today is a big day. We're able to go to Vinalhaven on the ferry. Last night, we got ahead on today's schedule. On the original plan, we were supposed to be getting to Vinalhaven in the afternoon. The problem is the ferry service stops at 4:30. If we get there in the afternoon, it's going to be a really tight day. So instead, we got here last night, taking the first ferry out, and we'll be able to have as much time as we want to play on the island before we got to get on the road and back to business. With a little luck, we might even make it as far as Augusta tonight. Let's see where we're going to go. Come on.
We started the morning off early at sunrise with a walk from our hotel to the Rockland Ferry Terminal. The sun was waiting to greet us just over the crest of the horizon above the ferry terminal. We took it as a sure sign of the great day waiting ahead for us. There wasn't a lot of competition for seats this early in the morning, so Skeletor 10 and I were the first to get to walk aboard the ship. We went straight out to the back so that we could take a better look at the view over the harbor. Isn't that something? We got ourselves into position to watch them load the vehicles aboard the ferry. Ai-chan was carefully inspecting each new vehicle that loaded aboard the vessel. And before we knew it, we were pulling away from the dock into the mouth of the harbor. It was packed to the gill with fishing vessels, which we maneuvered around in the channel. I was pleasantly surprised to discover that I was going to get to see just one more lighthouse on this tour around the coast. Ai-chan wasn't exactly sure what to make of what was happening around her, but she did seem pleased to be on the water, not in it. And like us, she kept staring out over the islands we passed along the way to Vinalhaven. It certainly made the ride go by fast to have so many things to look at along the way, because in seemingly no time at all, we were docking on the other side of the landing. Vehicles got to unload before the passengers, but fortunately the ferry crew is very efficient in getting everyone off the ship in a very timely manner. Even this big boy. Once on the island, our first destination was Fox Rocks at the furthest northwest corner of Vinalhaven. Ai-chan seemed more than happy to follow along on this hard rock trail. The trail wound its way up and down through rocky outcrops in the hills. At the end of the trail, we reached some mud flats. You could tell this place filled in with water during high tide, but it was low and full of mud right now. It had been an all downhill hike on the way in, so we had to work our way back out of this park. Ai-chan took it one uphill step at a time until we finally made our way out. Then it was a short zip over to Geary's Beach on the opposite end of the island. This hidden away little retreat is located on the southeast section of Vinalhaven. Once again, the dog enjoyed her walk out in our own little world. Even though I came prepared with her backpack, there was no need for it today. She had plenty of energy to keep up with us. It seemed like a surefire thing that this view was helping to motivate her as well. And then that was it. Our trip to Vinalhaven was over. We just had to make a quick hop back over to the ferry from our corner of the island.
Hey there, Skeletor. Did you have a good time on Vinalhaven?
I did. Everything worked out really good.
Are you really happy that we're getting out of here and actually getting a real lunch now?
Yes. Lobster rolls on me.
Finally, some lobster rolls in Maine. Can't wait.
Oh boy, now Skeletor 10's got me all excited about these lobster rolls. So straight off the ship, we popped into a lobster restaurant locally in Rockland. We definitely made the right choice. This little spot was a haven for lobster lovers.
Let's have a look. Oh, I see what we did there. Ah, very clever. Finally got your lobster roll. Oh boy. Yeah.
One of our last stops of the day, after that delicious lunch of course, was the Waldoboro Historical Society. This place was pretty darn cool. It was free tours all through the museum and the grounds were opened up completely to the public. This old schoolhouse featured authentic documents dating all the way back to the 1890s. And that was just the tip of the historical iceberg. The museum itself was absolutely jam-packed full of artifacts. It was hard to believe just how much stuff they had in such a tiny space. Outside of the museum was one more room, the Richard Wallace Barn. The space inside here was almost as big as the museum itself. And once again we found ourselves in the Wayback Machine, taking a trip back into time. It was really neat that they had so much set up for the public to come and see at absolutely no cost. I rarely miss an opportunity to tour a free museum like this. It's always interesting to take a look back into the past. Our day came to a close at the beautiful Bath Dog Park out on the waterfront. Ai-chan had no problem making friends while we were out here on the trails. It seemed like a great way to close out our day. All those wagging tails are always a high point for us.
Well, travelers, that's a wrap for day 20 of our adventure across Maine. And let me tell you, today was an amazing day. We took the Vinalhaven ferry service out first thing in the morning and were able to find the targets we were looking for on Vinalhaven with no issue. We were very fortunate to be able to get hooked up with the Vinalhaven taxi service, and our driver was able to drive us to the very farthest northwest end of the island and the very furthest southeast end of the island. I don't think we really could have done it without it. We caught an early ferry out and we started into our route for tomorrow. So we're actually almost completely done with our pages and our county targets for the state. So we're going to wrap up tonight in Brunswick, and then tomorrow we're going to have a nice easy day working our way down to Portland, which is not very far. So I'm sure we're going to get to find lots of caches. Can't wait to see what we see in Portland. Can't wait to see Fort Williams, and I can't wait to see an end to Maine. This has been a great time, but I'm ready to move on to New York in the very near future. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more daily episodes. Happy trails!